I cannot even breathe. I'm so excited. I am so freaking excited. If you guys didn't watch part 1, I have received a pre-release X-Men Forever box and the team packs. We haven't even got to the freaking team packs yet. It's gonna be sick. But we are about halfway through the campaign box. We're gonna jump right in with a couple more cards. Just so freaking excited. We left off in the L's with Lady Deathstrike, not Lady Deadpool. That wouldn't make much sense. It says, when a single Lady Deathstrike character attacks alone, she gets +2/+2. This reminds me of the strike keyword from the Justice box. Strike says, if this is the only character fielded this turn, get +2/+2. This one is, if this is the only character that attacks, she gets +2/+2. And look at those stats, man. This is a little bit absurd. 5-cost fist. 5 cost that essentially gets up to 9/6. 9/6 for a 5 cost. I'm excited to see what her other abilities are because this stat line is nice. I mean, on level 1, Level 2, But for a 5 cost that gets up to 9 with the buff, pretty awesome. Lady Deathstrike, gonna be pretty cool. Her next card, while active, when you field a Brotherhood character, Lady Deathstrike gets +1/+1. I don't love this one. I'll be honest. I'll just go ahead and say it. For the same cost. For the same freaking cost, I could just get +2/+2 if she attacks alone. You know, give her Overcrush, give her Dimension Door, make her unblockable, whatever you need to do. I think the first one's better. But I do love to see some Brotherhood of Mutants stuff. I've always wanted to make that Magneto one that gives them Infiltrate work out. Overcrush, now we're talking. While Lady Deathstrike when she damages an opponent, gain 1 life. This is cool. This is cool. Let me repeat, this is cool. First off, 6-cost fist. Sweet. You know, there's a lot of discounting globals out there these days. Dual affiliation. Sweet. This stat line. Sweet. Purple and yellow. Sweet. The ability. Think about it, people. You're using Overcrush, which means you're going to be damaging your opponent, period. I mean, okay. And then I eat my words instantly when I say period. Because, with only 2, 3, and 4 defense, this could be actually a little bit of a crisis card. But in terms of just straight as it reads, dealing damage to your opponent while you gain life, that sounds excellent. That sounds freaking awesome. I'm excited about this. I'll put her on some teams for sure. Lady Deathstrike, we will have a date later, I promise. Madeline Pryor, you're next. Step right up, 2 cost. Hey, we went from a 6 cost to a 2 cost. 2 cost mask, it says energy drain, which is cool. We actually haven't seen a whole bunch of energy drain since like D&D, right? I can't think of much energy drain. The cool part is her defense is big enough that if you energy drain something down, it's not going to kill her. So she's like a blocker that's going to stay alive for a long time. This almost reminds me of like Alfred, the one that when he's KO'd, you can roll anyway. He doesn't die. He's a blocker that doesn't die. That's sort of how I see about this. If you spin a character down and it still has 4 attack, I mean you are getting a value trade out of a 2 cost anyway. So I think this is a cool card. I think it has a place on some teams, especially at a 2 cost. It's going to be cool. Her next card, Energy Drain again. 3 cost this time, though. Your Hellfire Club character dice gain Energy Drain. All of them. Guys, we've already looked at, I don't know how many different Hellfire Club affiliations are in this box. And that's not even counting maybe the team packs. I don't know anything about the team packs. Haven't opened those yet. So this, anytime you have a blanket effect that is gifted to other things, it's something to look out for. And when that is on a 3 cost, the value is high here, friends. The value is high. Energy Drain is a great ability. It's not going to win you the game, but you know your characters will stay alive much longer. 3 cost again, attune. 3 cost attune characters. I don't really get it. I don't know what I would use this with. I don't know why I would use this instead of other attune characters. She does have a pretty nice defense line and low fielding costs, but so that's almost my thought is just so. So, one of my favorite characters of all time, Magneto. Magneto 5-cost mask. It says, while active, your non-Magneto Hellfire Club characters get 2+2/+2. While active. I'd have to look back at the other characters that have this affiliation to see if this is really that good. But I'd say, in general, giving +2/+2 is, obviously better than +1/+1. You'd have to really build around this affiliation, which I know there are formats out there, mono affiliation, that this could get super gross with. I'd say it's worth experimenting with, especially if you want to make a Hellfire Club team. Next, your Brotherhood. So he gets a different affiliation for this card. Your Brotherhood character dice get +1/+1 for each different active X-Men character on both sides of the field. In draft, I could see this being absolutely ridiculous. Even if you only had one other Brotherhood character, if it was the right one, like with Overcrush or something, and it gets +1/+1 for each different active X-Men. This one counts Magneto. So that means you get one other Brotherhood character. Let's pretend it has Overcrush. And then you just draft a whole bunch of X-Men, cheap X-Men, to just sit in the field for you. You bring this guy through. It's also a WoW active. It's a WoW active, folks. It's not even when he attacks. It's not when on the turn he's fielded. I think this is going to be pretty good. Just a heads up. Just a heads up for all you drafters of this box or affiliations. I think Brotherhood could get pretty cool after this set. Next, we got Mastermind, a 4-cost shield. A 4-cost shield. It reminds me of the Vibe die, but it's not. It says, before declaring blockers, you may roll one of your active Mastermind dice. If it shows an energy phase, KO it. Otherwise, remove X attacking character dice from the attack zone where X is the rolled die's level. So you are going to, in theory, roll this dice, and if it lands on character face, you will remove 1, 2, or 3 attackers. Super slowing down your opponent. Let's be honest, if they're attacking with 3 characters, they're pushing characters, you know what I mean? Now, what I don't love about this card... Alright, let's start with what I do love. I do love about this card is it's before you declare blockers. So you can see what the results of this is first, then declare your blockers. That's super important on this card. The other thing I don't love about this card is that you just remove them from the attack zone. They go back to the field zone to do it all again next time. Now, in theory, you could do this ability every turn. They keep attacking with those characters, you keep doing this ability, but eventually you're going to roll energy and have to KO Mastermind. I think it's neat. I think it really slows down your opponent. If you are in a super punchy meta, if people at your shop, your local game store, just love building teams of low-cost characters, they just keep flinging them at you, this is a great card. I think otherwise, and maybe in the current meta where direct damage, not even direct damage. I wouldn't say the meta is direct damage currently. I'd say attacking with a huge number of characters is definitely a part of the game right now. But I don't know if this is control-y enough to be called like a control staple at this point. We'll see. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Don't at me, bro. 3-cost shield, Mastermind. Mastermind takes no damage during combat. He takes no damage during combat. That's attacking or blocking. Now, he only has a 1 attack. We'll see you soon, Mastermind. I like your other card better. That's all I really got to say about that card. 2-cost shield. Now we're really talking. It says Infiltrate. 2-cost Infiltrate is awesome. And here's the reason this specific card is awesome. First off, double affiliations. We've talked about how affiliations are becoming more important. Secondly, it's a 2-cost. 3rd cost, Infiltrate. And he only has 1 attack on all the sides. Now, that being said, he will either go through for 1 damage or you'll pull him back for 1 damage. His defensive stats, if he gets blocked by a sidekick per se, he's sticking around for next turn, going to try to infiltrate again. I think it's worth looking at. It would be something comparable to the Kree Soldier, right? I think there's a 2-cost Kree Soldier that also has infiltrate. We'll see how the stats compare. Get back to that later. Next, we got Mystique. Mystique gets +2/+2 for each different active non-Mystique Brotherhood character. +2/+2 would put her at a 3/3, by the way. Oh, for each different. So again, slot her on a Brotherhood affiliated team, make her giant. I don't know how I feel about her having a 1 and a 2 as fielding costs, especially since her base stats are so poor. Super contingent about what else is in the field. I think this is not great. But +2/+2 is good. That's a substantial chunk of stats. As opposed to her 4-cost card, Mystique gets +1/+1 for each other character die in the field zone. Now, this counts both sides. It doesn't say both sides, but it says in the field zone, not in your field zone, not in your opponent's field zone. This is in the field. There's a lot of wall teams out there currently with Team Up, Instant War, Dreadnought. This could get super rowdy pretty quickly. Like, even just, all right, let's just pretend you just played an Instant War. Each player draws 3 dice and fields all the sidekicks. That means, in theory, there's 6 dice. Could be 6 dice in the field just from that 1 die. So Mystique gets +6/+6. Instantly, she is a winning 4-cost character. People are going to build around this. It's going to be cool. I'm excited for this card. It's going to be cool. Even at a 4-cost, still, you're looking at some plays. You're looking at some plays, Mystique. Well done. When fielded, choose an opposing non-villain card. This fielded character die has the printed attack and defense values of that card matching level for level. Choose an opposing non-villain card. So the character does not have to be active. This fielded character die has the printed attack and defense values of that card. There are some cards out there with crazy stats. What is there? Freaking Slife of the Sky Dragon, right? You put him on a team, you put this Mystique on a team. She has a 6-cost. But the kicker is, on level 3, on her best face, you get an additional effect. Usually the burst is on level 1, right? Usually they're like, hey man, we really apologize for you rolling this on level 1. No, this is if you're on level 3. You also get that card's text. This is going to be rowdy. And at a 6-cost, I know it's a stretch. And it is contingent, but it's only contingent on things you put on your team. It's not contingent on what's in the field. This is going to be cool. I'm excited for this. Professor X is next. Show me what you got, my mans. Professor X says, when Professor X is active, whenever one of your sidekick dice is KO'd, gain a life. Whenever your sidekick dice is KO'd. That means if you KO it, that means if your opponent KOs it, that means if you fabricate it, gain a life. Also, pay a mask once during your turn. You may prep 2 sidekick dice from your used pile. Let's all take a minute to pay respects to the old Professor X Global. And we're over it. We are over that global. I know I don't speak for everybody out there, but I am so done with the classic Professor X Global. I love this version much better. I felt like the old one changed the way you had to play the entire game, which was sometimes less fun. Anywho, this looks cool. Once during your turn. One time, only on your turn. Bladdow. I mean, just for the global, this card's going to be on teams. The ability is pretty good. Life gain. We've seen some life gain in this box thus far. I'm pretty excited about all that. When fielded, move all your active sidekick character dice to the prep area. Gain 1 life for each sidekick move this way. It's a when fielded ability, folks. When you see when fielded, you look straight at the defense and you say, how many times am I actually going to field this dude? How in the hay are you going to KO this guy? How are you going to KO this? He has a 1 attack and 5 defense. I don't know. I think this is bad. I think it's bad. It's definitely worse than the first one. It also has the global at the bottom, so I can't understand why you'd play that one instead. When fielded, draw 2 dice. If they're both sidekick dice, roll them and place them in the reserve pool. Otherwise, return both to your bag. Again, when fielded with these stats, I'm not convinced. Also, there's a basic action that I'm forgetting out of the Warhammer box that does this, except better. You prep 2 dice. If they're both sidekicks, you prep an additional die. And if you get on a burst face, you get to roll those into your reserve. Holy cannoli, and it's less money. It's a 4 cost. This one's a 5 cost when fielded ability. I am unconvinced, but Professor X... And this card actually gets the extra shaft because with the global, like, these are going to be the ones that you're playing with. Somebody surprised me. That's all I'm going to say. These are all just first impressions. We've got Rachel Summers next. Rachel Summers next. It says, while Rachel Summers is active, if another X-Men is KO'd, KO all other characters except for Rachel Summers. When she's active, if another X-Men, it doesn't matter whose it is, gets KO'd, KO all of the other characters except for this one. So then you attack with her, you do 8 damage, your opponent re-rolls everything next turn, and you have no field. I don't get these KO everything 7 and 8 costs. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Someone's going to make me look dumb when this card is awesome, but for me, a 7 cost already needs to win you the game. I mean, we've been saying that since Gorilla Grodd and Green Arrow Flash, right? If it is a 6 or 7 or 8 cost, it needs to substantially change the game. Now, this does change the game state. It will substantially change the game state. But is it going to win? Is it going to move you substantially closer to winning the game? In my opinion, the answer is no. Now, if you had some effect in play that said all of your KO'd characters this turn come back to the field, that would be cool. But am I going to build around a 7 cost plus something else? Maybe. Rachel Summers, I don't love this one. I don't love this one. How about a 6 cost, though? Whenever a non-Rachel Summers X-Men is KO'd, spin all of your Rachel Summers to level 3. No. Just no. When one or more Rachel Summers character dice attack... Okay, pause. Are you going to have 2 dice for this 7 cost that are attacking at the same time? Maybe. Until the end of turn, when one of your X-Men gets KO'd, deal 2 damage to the defending player. No. Now, let me explain to you the situation that this works. You have 2 7 costs that you've purchased. You've also purchased enough X-Men character dice that are in the field now that you can afford to KO 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 of them and still have these 2 out. Like, do you realize how many characters you have to have in the field for this to actually do substantial damage? You gotta have a ridiculous amount. I'm not really into it. Sorry, Rachel Summers. That'll be the end of part 2. That'll be the end of part 2. I'm going to come back with a part 3. This has taken longer than anticipated, but the excitement, the joy, and just the thankfulness I have is incredible. So stay tuned for part 3. It's going to be just as good.